Hello, my friends. It is once again time to go into a wonderful story. Ladies and gentlemen, Jon-Chan and the summit of Mount Dewnali, Fellowship of the Dew. Hello, Moonhorse. Hi, Sango, and the Celestial Herd. I brought a tale, a fanfiction of many words. I have cometh and delivereth, a tale of Neckbeardia, a tale of Jon-Chan, and his Fellowship of the Dew. Brace thyselves. I've written a long story. Who knew? So grab some popcorn, some water, maybe some wine. Get comfortable and enjoy this tale of mine.
Do you really think it's a wine?
A squeaky rat-like voice snarled.
Yes, most certainly, replied a deeper-toned man. Whilst the young man has never unsheathed his blade, I believe this gentleman's determination in the battle sims is a testament to his unwavering strength.
The two man-children were observing a pudgy young man in his mid-20s, playing an online match of Halo on his Alienware laptop, dying repeatedly to a high-skilled player with a sniper rifle. The man's neck is draped with a brown Cheeto-stained beard that stretches down to his collarbone and is equipped with a red baseball cap with white letters saying, "Make hentai hot again." Fuck. After being domed in the head for the 6th time in a row, he throws a hissy fit and lets out a mighty ree. All of his features and actions are being closely observed by the two gentle sirs behind the one-way sheet of glass.
After all, he is quickboard.
The last quickboard couldn't even defend our nations against Chad.
Perhaps, but if it wasn't for her actions, you and I would be standing here discussing her as we speak.
There was a moment of considering what the deeper-voiced man said.
Well, that's fine. Point taken,
snarled the rat-like fellow begrudgingly.
But even if the council does continue with this notion, he's just one man. An undisciplined gentleman with the dexterity of a slug drunk off moonshine at that.
The young man is fortunate enough to finally kill the sniper after dying to his hands at least 12 times. He then proceeds to have a heated but insulting gamer moment and spews a few racial slurs.
That is why he won't go alone, for you shall accompany him.
Jonathan Easton Chandler,
bellowed a squeaky, bony beta boy clad in silver samurai armor that's a tad too big for him.
Supreme wisdom and nobility of the Dew Reader Council have summoned you. It's about time those cucks requested me,
groaned Jon-Chan.
I've been mobbing the floor with those losers for the past 10 minutes on Sundrop. So it's mobbing for me, getting your stupid ass schwacked every 10 seconds?
The boy replied.
What's up? Just do that, Moonhorse 69! The one only, you dickhead. Anyway, you should get that chamber spit those virgins, Illis. You might get your ass kicked some more, huh?
Jon-Chan, not wanting to showcase his skills, well, lack thereof, was hoping to get this meeting over with and return to his flat. Proceeds to walk towards the heavy doors that led to the council chamber, but not without using his massive weight and large-boned structure to knock the bony guardsman aside and onto his ass. The sniffling guardsman shouts, "Jerk off!" at Jon-Chan as he closes the heavy doors behind him. Jon-Chan is met with silence in a dark, warm room, the scent of moldy tofu and a waft of spoiled milk. He's seen this moment played out in countless video games and anime, but decides to move closer into the room to await the lights. Holy shit, those lights are bright! Jon-Chan's eyes were used to the dim yellow lights found in every apartment and every street in Basementia. His eyes were not ready to be engulfed in a light that could kill a fascist in a Lost Ark.
Joey, there's no need to blind the poor
fucker, said a sassy, gargled, feminine voice. The light seemed to have a dimmer switch as the intensity seemed to steadily decrease. Jon-Chan was now very attentive to the milady. Jon-Chan turned to see 5 hooded figures standing around him in a green Minecraft creeper hoodie that nearly everybody in Base Mintia owns. Their faces were covered by the mask, zips down. Jon-Chan was cringing, nearly shat himself in an effort not to express any of the cringe on his face.
We have an urgent task for you, my son.
A deep voice beckoned from a towering creeper wannabe behind Jon-Chan.
However, not a single word here can be uttered to another Neckbeardian, apart from the ones in this room, and the ones we assigned to you with an official seal of trust.
Jon-Chan was sweating bullets. So much so that his Axe body spray that he applied an hour earlier had worn off in the magnitude of the sweat. While he was unsure of what to expect before entering the chamber, he was now more uncertain and more worried for what would happen next.
Please, allow me to introduce ourselves. I'm Councilman Maximilian Saki Naruto III. You can call me Max. This lovely milady is Councilwoman Sarah Megan. Over here is Councilman Joey Shepard. Councilman Northwest, Councilman Chris Manchest.
He said, pointing at a curvy hooded figure, a hunched man with noticeably large nose and beer gut sticking out of his hoodie, and 2 rather chunky individuals with their muffin tops spilling out from underneath their own. Oh my god, Max, I can introduce myself. Whatever, just keep doing whatever you're doing or something.
Well, without any further interruptions, the city of Base Mintia is in dire straits, my friend. We are running low on tendies. And at the rate of consumption, we believe that our people are going to starve from lack of sustenance within the next year or so, if we're lucky. We have tried to limit consumption and increase the value of the GBP and offer more leaner choices, yet our efforts have only slowed this consumption down by a mere single %. Bitches really love their tendy.
Okay, I understand all that, but what would you want me to do about it? I'm a warrior and a pro gamer, not a cook.
Despite being hooded, Jon-Chan was able to pick up the doubtful glances between Councilman Max and Councilwoman Sarah. He stayed silent, not wanting to make this summoning last any longer than it should.
We need you to find Mob, our lovely benefactor, our provider, and bring her home. We cannot survive without her help.
Jon-Chan crossed his arms, brought them closer to his chest.
Okay, but how you expect me to do that?
We are aware of your heritage, piped Joey, as he circled around closer to Jon-Chan. Your distant great-grandmother, Christine Weston Chandler, was a noble warrior, who managed to defend the Neckbeardians' escape during the siege of Shapirograd. Had a powerful medallion that granted her the speed and strength of lightning. Joey reaches into his hoodie pockets, taking out bags of fun-sized Doritos in a frantic search, finally pulling out and brandishing a shining yellow medallion, laced with thin steel chains that appeared to be an anthropomorphic animal's face upon the medallion. Jon-Chan's worrisome expression was washed away by interest, awe, and then anger that flashed upon his face. For 1,000 years, these bastards had his great-grandmother's Sonichu medallion and hid it from his bloodline. We have no way of activating it, but we believe that her predecessor could possess the ability to activating its power. It might help you in your journey to find Mom. Or its powers could be used to protect you and your entourage from Chad.
Okay, so what's in it for me?
Jon-Chan queried.
After all, I'm the one risking my life here, and for these people, they don't even know I'm doing it. What gives?
That's a fair question, Sarah affirmed. After Bob's return, we shall inform the public of your exploits, give you access to your own harem of beautiful waifus, and enough go-boy points to establish a Wendy's.
Then you say you had me at the waifu harem.
Jon-Chan's eyes lit up with joy as he was bouncing with glee.
Just one thing, though. Now, where I even start looking for this mom?
Joey popped up from behind Jon-Chan.
We believe that Mob may have returned to her original home of Trade Moyer, or Mount Dewnali, near the former city-state of Deutonia. Yes, young warrior. I should advise that you go home and pack your essentials. Meet with your team at the city entrance. Please, do not attempt to tie up loose ends. Try to keep this a secret from everyone you know, as we can't risk a breach in secrecy.
That wouldn't be a problem for Jon-Chan, as he isn't really close to those he sees on a regular basis. In fact, he is glad that he's been given the opportunity to be away from rather abhorrent people. He left the chambers, only to look back at Sarah's figure, hoping that she would reciprocate and turn back. Maybe even reveal a warm and longing face, but alas, she and the rest of the council members had vanished. The march back home to his apartment was rather unstimulating trek. He noticed a few homeless neckbeards in the curbs, empty dark streets, with their Wii U so bright it reveals their greasy faces, captivated with the consoles, enrapturing their gameplay. Jon-Chan scoffed at these fellow neckbeards, believing he is superior for being able to pay for his half of the rent. He arrived to his apartment only to be greeted by the sharp scent of cigarette smoke and the olfactory residue of mussed, sweat-drenched socks and weeks-old ketchup. He looked around for his roommate, Sir Samson, an old ex-knight of the base Mintia chivalry service, who now spends his retirement days in GBPs and flypaper traps, daily takeout, and 4-pack of cigarettes.
He wasn't here. I must go out to get them more cigarettes.
Jon-Chan thought, wading through the piles of trash, empty soda cans, and even a few ashtrays on the floor, hoping that he could avoid Sir Sam before he left. He got to his room, which, while littered with dirty clothes here and there and a few bottles of piss chugs near his desktop, ew, it was leagues tidier than the majority of the flat that Sir Samson occupied. He hurriedly looked around his room for his bag of tendies and stuffed them into his backpack. He then looked towards his pasta-stained Hatsune Miku body pillow on his bed. He kissed her on the cheek.
Oh, Hatsune-chan,
he said with a perverse gargle.
I wish my lady would accompany me on this noble journey, but I just don't want to see you get hurt. Oh, it's totally fine, Jon-Chan. I would love you for being so thoughtful, gentlemen, for being so good at bed,
he said with a high-pitched voice, as if he were a ventriloquist.
Oi, cunt!
A loud, abrasive Australian accent was heard from behind Jon-Chan. It was Sir Samson, dressed in a ragged t-shirt, a pair of faded light gray sweatpants, holding a blushing Batman body pillow in his big meaty left forearm, while his skinny right arm was holding a bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red. His patchy beard did nothing to hide the look of perpetual anger and sexual frustration on his face.
Where the fuck are you going off to?
I gotta think of something quick. I'm just going to a friend's house, Sam. I just want to let Hatsune know I'd be gone for a day. Yeah, it's the best.
A fruitcake like you got no friends. Don't give me no crap about you find a boyfriend for a girl either. You ain't got no action.
Well, whatever. You just let me be. Why would you even care if I was gone?
'Cause you still need someone to pay off the rent. Bills don't pay themselves.
Jon-Chan hadn't thought about how his home expenses were going to be paid off with his departure. Hopefully the council would have the sense to pay for it while he was gone.
Well, just don't worry about it. I'm not going to be gone for long. I'm just going to spend a day or two with my friend.
Yeah, fine. Just spend the next few days taking care of your lady here, fruitcake. She's my wife and my property for the next few days.
Samson taunts. Jon-Chan had had enough of sense and shit, and turned towards his waifu pillow.
Let's go, baby,
he mutters and grabs Hatsune-chan. He knew that she would be extra weight, but he didn't want to give Sir Sam the satisfaction of plowing his body pillow. He feels as if he's already given Samson a victory anyhow.
Well, I'm just joshing you, bro.
Sir Samson assured him, poorly.
Also, it's Sir Samson to you. Sir, you cock.
Jonathan ignores him as he collects his backpack and his waifu and storms out the door, leaving a loud thump in his exit. It's been an hour since his embarrassing departure from his apartment to the gate. On the way there, he's been cursing Sir Samson's name, affirming to himself that his first state of business as champion once he'd return home would be to exile Samson into the outside world, just like the council 200 years ago exiled the Defiler for making Mom leave with his cursed Kamsark. I'm trying to read this as serious as possible. It had been more than 2 hours of climbing a long flight of stairs to the surface gate. John didn't know if he could even make it to the outside world without collapsing and passing out, but if it wasn't sheer willpower that got him up that massive flight of stairs, it had to be the scent of fried food that awaited him at the top. As he crested the final step, he collapsed forward to his knees, only to be greeted by a caravan of 30 or so fat or skinny neckbeards and legbeards alike, all in armor or robes brandishing spears and katanas, performing mock duels with one another to pass the time, whilst eating funnel cakes and fried Oreos and nacho cheese Doritos.
Oh, great, he's finally here,
said a familiar squeaky voice.
The quick board has come.
Jonathan looked up to see a towering small man, or at least a little kid, standing over his prone form. It's the same kid who summoned him to the council chambers.
Oh, man, are you like my squire now?
Retorted John. The kid stuck out his tongue at Jon-Chan.
You should be my squire since I kicked your ass at Halo. I'd probably kick your ass in a real fight, too. Besides, how's some loser like you become Quickboard's supposed champion of Neckbeardia? Well, they needed someone whose balls dropped on like yours, so I fit the requirements.
The child soldier looked dejected and shied away from his comrade. He hadn't even tried to come up with a witty insult.
Are you seriously bringing that with you?
Said another familiar voice. It was Joey Shepard, clad in a t-shirt and jeans and a layer of chainmail over him, his beer gut bulging outwards. In the distance, quite similar to his elongated nose.
What?
Said John, confused as to what had eluded a bewildered response.
The body pillar genius,
replied, pointing at Jon-Chan's majestic and pasta-stained waifu. His face turned red.
It's just for comfort,
he said sheepishly.
Well, you should have more comfort and faith in this,
Joey said, giving him his grandmother's Sonichu medallion from underneath the chainmail.
Figure out a way to use it on the way there. It'd suck to need it and not have it activated, than not need it and find a way to, you know?
Yeah. So, but why are you here? Don't you have important political things to deal with?
My work's being taken over by Max. I trust he can take care of a thing or two while I'm gone. Plus, my free time, I'm an analyst,
Joey replied with pride.
Oh yeah, you're one of those guys who bores people to death with the dress stories in a place.
John said with a hint of vicious mockery towards the analyst. Joey's face was staring daggers at John, muttering curses as he limpingly gives him the finger. John had a wide smile extending from each side of his face. There was a moment of silence. John finally noticed the rest of the caravan staring upon him, as if waiting for him to say anything profound or inspiring. But alas, he had nothing. These man-children and women-children looking up to him for guidance that he did not possess. While he knew of his own lineage, he did not really expect to live up to the quick-born title. He was distressed by their stares, his body paralyzed by their looks of awe.
Come on, think of something simple I got the silver with.
He looked towards his new comrades.
Well, we're gonna have a lot of work ahead of us,
he stammered.
Well, I don't really know any of you. I'm willing to bet that the council does and are confident in your abilities.
Jonathan gulped audibly. He felt as if he was tanking this whole speech.
I'm new to this whole champion thing, but I promise I'm gonna do my part and do the best champion Basementian needs.
Looks upon their faces were more resolute. Their fat bodies stood taller with more composure. Now to really bring it in and drop some panties.
What's a power of friendship? We could do anything!
Shouted Jonathan with less confidence. However, his words seemed to have lost the growing respect that he had just obtained, only replaced with confusing glances and a result of the cringy and trite statement.
Simply just do your duty. That's all?
They seemed less pleased, but definitely not displeased with his speech, but seemed to be happy that it was over.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna need some practice, bud,
whispered Joey.
I'll say, that really sucked,
snorted the kid. Jonathan looked down at the little fucker only to turn his attention towards the gates, and the last dozen steps ceremoniously leading towards them. Why did the designer have such a hard-on for stairs? Escalators do exist. He was the first to walk up the steps and ascend to the surface world. The giant steel doors roared as they opened, revealing a white-hot land from the sun. A loud hiss could be heard from the city below, as they more than likely had been exposed to the sun for the first time. For the first time in over 200 years, one person left Basementia in shame, only for one to walk out into the unknown to be a champion to his people. Jonathan Easton Chandler was then met with the warmth of the sun on his face and the kiss of the cold wind on his lips. He was in shock. He was a little excited to experience the world, not from the soulless retellings of an analyst or from the bitter memory of the videos of those long ago. For the first time he will see the world, the real world, for the first time, and the first time ever. He was truly afraid. I'm very excited about where this is gonna go, so I cannot wait for the next part. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know I fucking am. I really, really, really want to know what's gonna happen. Thank you so much for writing this, and thank you guys for being here. This is a really long video. I'm gonna end it here. So, remember, if you have your own stories of any kind, neckbeard fanfiction, any kind of horror stories you want to send me, send them to the subreddit. I don't talk about the subreddit enough. I'm trying to fix that. But it is r/Moonhorse Stories. And I will see it. That's what I check the most. I love you all so very much. Do the YouTube thing, whatever. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. I love you all very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!